Gasoline, Excel, video number 9. At the conclusion of video 8, you will have defined your trip and utilized GasBuddy to determine the cost of that trip based on the type of vehicle that you selected. You should have 5 vehicles selected, and then fill-up costs or fill costs for each one of those vehicles in order to get to your destination. In this video, video number 9, what we will do is go ahead and get a sum for the vehicle cost for gasoline for each vehicle, and then also the total trip miles that you should have obtained in video number 8. And then we'll calculate the average cost per gallon, cost per mile, and then you will create a 5-series column chart for each of the vehicles and the total fuel cost in order to get to that destination and back. It was a round trip. So go ahead and put in the name of each of your vehicles, and you will have 5 of them. I only have 1 shown here, but what you would do is go ahead and put in the name. And then for each vehicle, you will calculate the fuel cost. And you can utilize the sum formula. Now we need to add a row so that we can calculate the average cost per gallon, because we forgot to make a heading for the total fuel used. So let's go ahead and click here in B10, insert a row, and back at GasBuddy, put in that information for our trip. I forgot to have you put in fuel used, which is that value right there. So we actually burned 66.78 gallons in order to complete this trip. So we need to get that value inserted into our worksheet. So we know our total fuel cost, total trip miles, and gallons of fuel used. So now we can calculate the average cost per gallon. So if we spent a total of $221, then we want to know, well, how much on average for 1 gallon. So let's take our total fuel cost and divide it by the total gallons used. And there we are, $3.31 per gallon. And then in a similar fashion, we can calculate how much did it cost us to drive 1 mile. Well, we know the total cost was $221. We went a total of 1,153 miles in my example. So how much for 1 mile? So we can take our total cost and divide it by the total miles driven. And we can see that the cost per mile for my Tundra is 19 cents per mile. And to conclude this video, you need to make 2 column charts. The first one, you will want to do a comparison of the cost of your vehicles for the total fuel cost. And so you're going to have a 5-series column chart. And then for the second column chart, you'll have a 5-series column chart that takes a look at each vehicle regarding the cost per mile for each of those vehicles. So you will be applying what you've learned in the previous videos for making column charts. By all means, ask questions that you may have as I come around throughout the classroom.